on the distressed assets, a portion of the distressed assets in real estate. Even though we didn't have significant portions, we thought it's better to be cautious. So again, we passed on to the government as such. When you have earning assets going out of your books, again, the operating running rates will come down. And that's precisely the reason why there is a regression compared to the last year, third quarter versus this year, third quarter. As a whole, if you look at it, our net profit has gone up 2% compared to last year. Our operating profit, as I said, has gone up by 17%. So essentially what we need to articulate is sustainability in performance. That's what we have done. Last 7 consecutive years, return on average assets, return on average equity, Doha Bank has been the best. That's what is important. Not to take mercurial growth and then flash down. So we want to have sustainable performance, stable and functional way of business advantage. That's what we do. We seize the opportunity. At the same time, we are conservative and cautious.
If you look back at 2009, we're coming towards the end of this year. If you look back, how important have optimization and consolidation been? Absolutely,
very good questions. See, we all know the crisis is in the loom. The degree of the penetration, whether it is market risk, counterparty risk more than anything else, global market risk, we have to measure it. Even though in terms of macroeconomic fundamentals, we are insulated. But we are not isolated from the globalization. Clearly, that is what the reflection we saw in the stock market. That's what the reflection we have seen in the liquidity. That's what the reflection we have seen in the cost of funds. So if you look at the overall dimension, the consolidation optimization has been the telling story. Institutions who have measured the balance sheet components, measured the risk, including the off-balance sheet risk, counterparty risk, have optimized it. At the same time, not to be, losing the market opportunity. Clearly, we have to have conviction and character in optimization, whether it is investment restructuring, debt restructuring. Clearly, we have to find the maturity mismatch to be minimized. So all sort of options banks have plowed on in multiple forms. Institutions who have gone into conservative mechanism, consolidating their operation, optimizations have paid a good score. Institutions who have went into conventional management, again growing exponentially, have failed. So there are all sort of business case studies evolving. It's a good lessons we have learned this year.
Mr. Seetharaman, how appealing is the idea of raising debt to you at the moment?
We have to look at where we are going to deploy. Raising debt with the sovereign rating of Qatar, again with the good rating, A rating for Doha Bank, it's easy for us to look at options available globally. If you look at, very few markets can afford to say 9% growth, GDP growth in 2009, 15 to 16% growth has been forecasted for 2010. So it is clearly a good wicket for any global investors to put money in Qatar or Doha Bank. But what are my options? Can I go and acquire an institutions and take this money and pump this liquidity? Can I deploy into the markets where I am absolutely sure the risk is visible and transparent? I have to be cautious here. This is why I'm waiting and watching the market. We want to see the benchmark. You can buy money. At the same time, can you make a margin out of it? What cost you're going to buy? All these options are there. So I'm not rushing to judgment. I don't want to buy money in the local market and deploy it, and eventually we are not making money out of it. So we have done it. We have done in 2006 EMTN. We listed in the London Stock Exchange. We went for syndications. Now I want the global balance to be on. Then we can go to the market as a cost-effective resource mobilization. Then we have a good margin to make in the coming years.
You just mentioned double-digit growth forecast for the Qatari GDP in 2010. What about your forecast in 2010 for the Qatari banking sector?
If parents are healthy, children are going to be healthy. That's the philosophy as such. See, Qatar has demonstrated a moderate growth even this year. It has not taken a negative GDP growth. Clearly, industrial expansion is on. Infrastructure is really moving in the right direction. So if these two factors are the driving force, essentially the banks and financial institutions will stand to gain. The trade cycle will improve. We have to look at what sort of business model we evolve. Islamic banking is taking a right momentum. I would like to see that Islamic banking goes not less than another 10 to 15% growth in the coming years. When it comes to SME, there are good opportunities because industrial expansion, infrastructure creations can give you contract financing as well as small and medium size funding. Non-funded business opportunities, again, globally, we have representations. We also see, again, export-import is going to improve. We see trade finance acceptances, guarantees. Those are the areas fee income can come in. Insurance stand to gain. Healthcare cost is going to be invested. Again, there are good opportunities for insurance making. So there are good positive developments. I am sure the banks in Qatar should report not less than 10% profit growth minimum, 15% asset expansion, overall consolidation, because the synchronized growth, synchronized vision in line with Qatar should be the telling story for the banks for the years to come.
Mr. Seetharaman, CEO at Doha Bank, thank you very much for this insight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And on that, we end this episode.